Hello everybody, my name is Starrapter and welcome to the channel. I'm super pumped because I just finished Daredevil Season 3. I'm not ashamed to admit that I finished that entire season of 13 episodes in 3 days because it was that good. So let's get right into it. This takes place directly after the events of The Defenders, where we have Daredevil who seemingly dies when an entire building collapses on him, but he is not out of it yet, so he is cared for by the nun of Maggie at the Catholic Church. Meanwhile, we have Foggy and we have Karen Page that are dealing with the loss of their close friend. And in the background, we have Kingpin, who is still in prison, but he definitely has a lot of influence from throughout what is going on outside of the prison. So what is so great about this season? Well, first off, let's focus on Matt Murdock, Daredevil himself. So we see him at the absolute lowest. If you guys want a little bit of reference, this season is pretty much based on the masterpiece, which is Born Again, which is written by Frank Miller. It's a 5-issue run of Daredevil. And wow, like you see him at a complete bottom, right? So he is been damaged pretty hard. He's a little bit deaf at one point, and he's just struggling to figure out what the heck he can do at this point because he is not very useful in the beginning of this season. Next up, I want to talk about Wilson Fisk, and I could make an entire video on Wilson Fisk, aka the Kingpin. Vincent D'Onofrio, yeah, I can watch an entire series for this guy being just the Kingpin because every time he was on screen, my eyes were glued. Like, I was so into it because, man, this guy has some gravitas. Like, he could be very soft-spoken, but he gets what he wants, and he has such a way of pulling people's strings. He has such a way of manipulating everything that he is, without a doubt, and I've gone out on Twitter and Facebook and said this, he is the MCU's greatest villain of all time so far. Like, he is that type of character that makes my skin crawl. But at the same time, he's very sympathetic. I love the monologue he has in episode 2, where it's called Love is a Prison. Physical prison can't really do anything with this guy because ultimately it's his love for his significant other that is really kind of fueling his hatred and everything else. And he is just a physical presence. We see him in that white suit that you know him from in the comics. So this is Kingpin at his best, and this to me was the best part of the series. There are so many other parts I liked about the season. I want to get into Foggy and Karen because these were kind of characters that were, a little bit secondary in the last couple seasons. But man, they have gone a long way in showing their background. We learn a lot more about Foggy, about his family, how they own this shop, and different things like that. We really learned a lot about Karen Page. I wasn't expecting to learn that much about Karen Page. There's lots of flashbacks in this, so it's very interesting to really get another layer to all these characters. Speaking of which, we got 3 new characters. I really, really enjoyed all 3 of them introduced. Maggie, who is basically the caretaker of Matt Murdock in that church that I mentioned. She has a little bit of a history, and we learned how she's dealing with Matt Murdock. She's basically cheering him on in a cynical kind of way because she doesn't sugarcoat anything. So we definitely learned a lot about her. I really enjoyed the character of Nadine, Special Agent Nadine. This is a family man. He's in the FBI. He's trapped in this entire plot, and you just see it from his perspective. You see this entire story from his perspective, which I think is a great vehicle to kind of gauge what is going on with Kingpin and everything else in this underworld and everything. Like, it's really cool to see everything glimpse through his eyes and just see the downfall, like the slowly, like his loss of control, different things like that. And another character which I really, really liked is Dex, aka Bullseye. This guy was another strong character that was built up from the ground, and I thought he really did a great job with really just, especially the acting involved with him, with his psychotic problems and really trying to deal with that, but, having a double sort of life was very, very interesting in my eyes. I can't talk about Daredevil without talking about the action. The action sequences have always stood out to me above the rest of what the genre has to offer, and it's because of those very kinetic action sequences that are done with a very long take. And every season, I'm like, guys, I don't know how they're going to top that hallway scene that we always see and they've somehow done it again in just absolute crazy fashion every time I think they've done it, and they just keep upping themselves every time. These guys, the stunt coordinators, the actors involved, man, these guys got to be commended, because this is some impactful action. I mean, that's the best way I can really say it, is just so much energy, and you just feel the punches, and things get extended for such a long time. You're seeing various angles. Like, these guys are legit fighting. Like, it's just really incredible how they're able, especially these extended scenes, how they're able to just do it in one take without messing up. And it's just, it gets you like that more hyped up. It gets you that more engaged, I think, when they just keep going at it for an extended amount of time. So awesome stuff there. I also like the little nuance of things, such as the sound. So I did mention that Matt Murdock, he is deaf kind of in the beginning, and we kind of get played off of that with the actual direction of the show. As far as the sound, it sounds like everything's like out of a tunnel when you hear it from his perspective. We're seeing a lot of things from his perspective, his angels, his demons, you know, on his left shoulder, on his right shoulder. So I really liked how they kind of did that as well. I like the strong themes of love and devotion. I thought they really hammered that really into the story very well there. They really tied a lot of things together from season one, which I really appreciated. And there were so many twists and turns throughout this season. It was just fantastic, especially when you get to those like last three episodes. It just escalates to the point where I try to dare you to watch only one at a time, because I couldn't do it. I just had to watch through all of them. I just really just binged the heck out of the season. There were a couple nitpicks. I will say that it seemed that Matt Murdock, he had a building dropped on him, and it didn't take very long for him to go out there and fight crime. Mind you that, he did kind of fail a couple times, so I did appreciate that. But I feel like he kind of got into it too quickly. And I feel like the first episode wasn't the strongest episode to lead off with the season. It didn't have as much action as I'd like, and it kind of went a little bit slower. But from that point on, it just, hit into overdrive, and there was something impactful happening in every single episode. That's why I got to give Daredevil Season 3 a score of a 9.5 out of 10. Yep, I'm still kind of juggling in my head right now if this is better than Season 2 of Daredevil, because at the time, I thought Daredevil Season 2 was the best that the Marvel Netflix has to offer, followed quickly by Punisher. But I'm really trying to, do this in my mind right now, because Season 2 of Daredevil is so much different than Season 3 of Daredevil. Season 2 had little story arcs with Punisher and the Hand and different things, whereas in Season 3 we have this very long arc, but it's very well developed. Oh man, it's just hard for me to decide. I'm on the spot right now, and I'm gonna still say Season 2 is my favorite of Daredevil, but this is an awesome season. You guys gotta check this out, and you guys gotta let me know what you thought about it in that comment section and down below. This is why Daredevil is still my favorite show for the Marvel Netflix on Netflix. So yeah, let me know in the comment section below what you thought about this season. I have plenty of other TV reviews, as well as game reviews, as well as Star Wars content. So if you aren't already subscribed to the channel and you want to support me, you can do that by hitting that red subscribe button. That's gonna do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.